We should be live. How is everyone doing?
I just got a notification that we're live. Are we live? Oh.
Good morning.
I look so aggressive on screen because there's like a delay, so you guys are watching me watch a cha when I'm not even watch a chaing. Happy Friday, everyone. How are you doing? Someone should answer. Is it Ruthie? Ruthie? Someone should answer her. She's asked like 3 times, what does everyone sell in the chat? So type it in the chat.
Don't leave her hanging.
Don't leave her hanging. She's waiting. She's asked you guys twice, and everyone's missing her questions. So answer her. What do you guys sell? It's allergies, not corona.
Yes.
Our allergies have
You
been.
just demonetized the video there.
No. All my videos for marketing during coronavirus haven't been demonetized because, you know, it's a hot topic. But for those who need help marketing during the coronavirus, I've been making videos a lot. There are so many new videos on my channel. I was attempting to do once every other day. Something like Friday Bean today, we're going to count this as a video. Next video will probably be Sunday, but might push it back till Monday, just depending on Mother's Day, because no one's going to be sitting on the internet on Mother's Day, hopefully. Nope. Hopefully you're, well, actually, everyone's stuck at home, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe you shouldn't go see your mom's.
Go hiking. Go hiking in a remote place.
Okay, I was trying to pivot this so that I made it, like, feel like, you know, I was doing it for you guys, but really it's Mother's Day, and I'm probably going to be spending it with Mark and my daughter.
Yeah, we're going to be hanging out.
So, but there will be a new video soon. And the video that is upcoming, I'm going to be breaking down the top searched items for April during the peak of the coronavirus. So that's going to be a lot of fun if you guys are curious as to what people are trying to find on Etsy during the coronavirus. Some of you know how to see this information already. I'm not going to spoil it, though, just in case. So today we're going to be talking about SEO, but first, let's see what everybody's been saying in the chat. I look especially tired.
I do, too.
I
was just noticing that. I think it's because I'm wearing a hat and the studio light's not getting my face.
My makeup's really light today, and it makes my eyes look smaller. Let's see. Sorry, just got on. Oh, don't apologize. We're being abrasive on purpose.
Yeah,
let's
for
see.
Sure.
Ooh.
71 people already, though. That's pretty dope.
Oh, wow, there's so many. So many. First time ever I managed to be on, or be on time here. Welcome. I assume that means that you've been late before, though, so you have been live. Just, this is your first time. Yeah. Okay. Alyssa sells polymer clay jewelry. Ooh, polymer clay jewelry. Last month, searches were really high. So watch that because that's awesome. Wreaths. I sell princess dresses and aprons. Machine embroidery files. Let's see. Oh, I should say your names. Jaden sells bath bombs, shower steamers, and bubble bath. We need shower steamers. We don't have a bathtub.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm assuming that it's something that you put in the shower with you, and if you don't have, like...
I can do context clues. I got that much. I just don't know, like, the specific...
Well, you see, you start with a shower, and then you got the steamer, and then you put the steamer in the shower and make shower steamer.
She's wanting to not have a happy Mother's Day is what she's doing right now.
That's not very nice.
No, I know it's not.
We have a walk-in shower because his grandma lived here before we did, and his grandfather was really sick, so they got one of those, you know, I don't want to say old people showers. That's not what it is.
It's a walk-in shower.
It's a walk-in shower, but it's for older people who can't step over anymore. But anyway, his grandpa ended up passing away before they got the thing installed. And then there was really no purpose for it. So now we just have a walk-in shower. It was really funny when we first moved here and we had a 4-year-old child because she didn't know how to shower. So I would just kind of throw her in there and corner her with the shower hose and she loves it though. She loves the shower. Lots of jewelry. Butterfly Decorations sells jewelry. Let's see. Oh, culturally inspired jewelry. Oh, look, we have a Moore, Lynn Moore. Hi, Starla Mark, and all the alphas out there. Silk garments, ponchos, wraps, and scarves. Awesome. I missed the start. What's occurring? Today, we're going to be talking about the 7 factors that contribute to your search placement on Etsy. I have a short video version of this on my channel already. So if you are watching the replay and you're like, I don't want to watch an hour-long video, we have a condensed version that you can find on my channel. I'll link that in the description after this video ends. But today we're going to be going over those 7 factors. That way you guys have an opportunity to ask questions about them live. So I'm still filling mask orders from August 3rd and 4th. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's one of those things that you got to really watch out for, because Etsy has been doing a thingamajig where if you sell too many masks, you'll hit a glass ceiling. Even if those mask orders aren't overdue to ship, you hit a glass ceiling where they say, congratulations, you've made a lot of mask orders. We're going to take you out of organic search until you get caught up. And that really sucks if you sell things other than masks, like for those who have masks in with their jewelry, because all of your listings disappear from search.
I think they're doing it because I'm sure there's people that are on Etsy that are taking advantage of the situation, putting up a whole bunch of listings and then just running with the money. So
or they they would have never thought to sell on Etsy, but they just jumped on Etsy because a lot
sell
of
masks. Yeah, so just be aware, if you sell masks, try to keep up with your orders. If you can't keep up with your orders, maybe deactivate the listings until you can get going so you don't get too overloaded with orders that you can't keep up with. It's great that you're getting a bunch of orders. I just don't want to see you stop receiving orders for any of your higher cost items.
Exactly. So today we're going to be talking about the 7 factors that contribute to search placement. Now, I'm going to assume that everybody here knows what SEO already is. I'm hoping. But if you don't, lightning quick rundown. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically, these are the little road signs and clues that you give Etsy's algorithm, which is like, the brain behind Etsy search. You give it clues that way when a shopper is on Etsy and they type something into their search bar, the products that you create have so many clues sprinkled throughout the listing that Etsy knows that your listing is, what that particular shopper is searching for. And obviously in search placement, you want to make sure that your listings are on page 1 if possible, or page 2, or as high up on the search pages as you can get them. One funny little SEO quote that SEO community always says is the best place to hide a body is on page 2 of a Google search. How many of you guys make it to page 2 on Google? I once in a very great while.
Only if it's something I feel safe going to page 2 for. Most of the time you can't go to page 2 without getting very adult things, so.
What are you searching? I'm talking about I don't know. Oh. Usually page 2 is just the content garbage. It's the content that isn't as relevant because but on Etsy it's usually not that big a deal to land on page 2 because shoppers sometimes make it that far while shopping. If
I'm shopping, I most of the time will make it 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, 9 pages in, just depending on what I'm looking for.
Right, but the first page is really the one that you generally see the most.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That you see the most conversions from. So here's how Etsy search worked long ago when I first started selling on Etsy. They started by allowing you to put keywords, words that are tied to your product, into your tags and titles, and you could just put all different ones into your tags and titles. You could, you could just stuff your tags and titles with relevant keywords, and if you had enough of those keywords sprinkled throughout your shop and your listings, Etsy would rank you based on those keywords, right? But it had to get a little bit more advanced than that, because once people, started learning more about the algorithm and they started competing very competitively for different keywords, that just wasn't enough, because even if you had perfect SEO, you were still not showing close to page one. So Etsy had to incorporate new factors, right? They had to think of new things that they could add, more filters, to make sure that shoppers were actually seeing products that they wanted. I could go and call, for example, maybe I'm making like a dragon key, but then I tag it as lizard necklace, animal necklace, great necklace for mom, and it's, maybe it's nowhere near any of those things. You get the point. People were abusing the system. Sorry, I have a runny nose. So that's why Etsy changed the system, and they incorporated new filters into the algorithm. And one of those filters in particular really messed up the way that people perceive search. Etsy added in a factor that counts for shopper behavior. And this was a huge thing. This caused mass pandemonium a few years ago on Etsy. And we'll get into that a little bit more very soon. But that's the number one factor that changed everything for Etsy. And now a lot of the times you hear some Etsy gurus and some SEO gurus say, there is no more ranking on Etsy. You can't make it to page one.
That's bull.
Yeah, on Etsy.
Bull.
And yes, to an extent, it's true, but only to the extent that everyone's search is going to be different.
Yes.
You can still rank on Etsy, and you can still check and monitor your rank on Etsy. And after I teach you how to do that, it's something that you should do frequently, and it's something that you should keep an eye on, okay? But that...
And we'll get in a little bit more to the, how individual search, for each individual person, how the search is going to be different, and kind of why it's a good thing.
Let's see. Let's double check our comments. Let's see.
I don't think we had a couple of questions here with Happy Mouth. How do I get daily sales? I want to do it full time. It's kind of a long, convoluted answer to get there.
There's so many factors that
sure.
contribute.
Look through our channel. Things like photography are going to be a big one that you should get into. And your SEO stuff, obviously, is stuff like what we're getting ready to talk about.
And external marketing, which we've been talking about a lot for the last few weeks.
Absolutely. And if you're an absolute newbie, I don't normally like just pushing advertisement, but we have the HAA as well.
Yeah, Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening on June 14th. If you want that straight shot to beginning to end, that will be opening. But in the meantime, there are hundreds of videos on my channel that'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So,
and if you have any more condensed down specific questions that wouldn't take a whole video to answer on their own, shoot those into the comments at the end of the video. We'll be doing a Q&A section at the end.
Does it also work for Germany? SEO and search placement applies no matter where you sell. This is the universal algorithm that Etsy uses to categorize products in search.
It's code.
So, I've been doing Instagram marketing, but I think it's a waste of time. I guarantee you it's not. It's probably just how you have been approaching it. So if any other businesses can succeed on Instagram, there's no reason that yours can't too. So, All right, let's get into search ranking on Etsy. There are 7 factors that contribute to ranking on Etsy. And once again, guys, I do have my notes today, but that's because I don't want to miss any of the important information that I need to share with you. So
that's a lot to remember.
It's a lot to remember. The first one is relevancy. So this is one that you can directly influence. This is how close your title, so your listing title, your attributes, which are the little sections under your title when you're filling out the size of your product and your material and who's it for, what's the occasion, what's it made of, what's the primary color, what's the secondary color. Remember all those little drop-down menus that we have? Those are your attributes. So titles, attributes, and tags. Now, a common misconception is that your description also counts for SEO, which is something that we used to think a long time ago. And it's also something that I used to teach. But Etsy actually kind of unveiled a little bit more about how search works, and they revealed that descriptions actually do not contribute to the Etsy algorithm. They contribute to Google search, where if someone was searching for a very specific type of product on Google, they might see a small listing for your Etsy product on Google. However, because Etsy and Google's algorithms are so very different, there is almost no way to appeal to Etsy's algorithm and appeal to Google's algorithm and get found for both. And if you're selling on Etsy, you should be focusing on Etsy, not Google. If you want to focus on Google, start your own website, get really good at SEO for Google, and do it that way. But cater your SEO to Etsy if that is your primary marketplace. So, titles, tags, and your attributes section. And one little pointer that a lot of people miss is if you fill something out in your attributes, like materials, you do not need to repeat those attributes down in your tag section. So if in your attributes you say, maybe the material is wool, you do not need to repeat wool down in your tags because your attributes also count as tags. However, what you should do is all of the keywords that are in your title, you should make sure that those are also in your tag section. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So is that all I wanted to say about relevancy? It's basically just a gauge of how users or how your listing tags and titles play into, what the person searched for on Etsy. It's one of those concepts where if somebody was searching for baby shower gifts and they typed in baby shower gifts and they got men's boxers, they'd probably be pretty upset, right? Etsy wants to show them relevant product. So that's where your contribution comes in, because you need to be able to do good SEO. Good SEO needs to have a strong tool, and obviously we recommend erank.com. I have to throw out the disclaimer now, as always, that I do work for erank as of February 1st, but if you watch some of my older videos, you will know that I've been using erank for over 4 years now. All-time favorite Etsy SEO tool. Been using it far longer than I've worked for erank, and yeah, I've started working for erank so I could bring you guys cool videos and know-how like this.
I have a thing.
Yeah.
One of the comments on here. Sally said, I heard a rumor a while ago that the title you save a photo as before uploading can factor as keywords. Any idea if that's true? So what you're talking about is called metadata. And the short answer is I very highly doubt it.
Etsy renames
them. And the long
them.
answer is probably not. Metadata they can't change. A lot of metadata they can't change. Most of it they do though, but the thing is it would take more processing power for them to dive that deep into all of your, especially if you've got like think of if you have 1,000 different products in your shop, like some shops do, and you have 5 to 10 pictures of those. That would take way too much for them to sit and like they've already got the pictures they've got to look at. Most of the time websites, like selling websites, they do like what she's saying is they will give them their own name within the system to categorize it within their system, so it's easier for the system to organize photos on a page, right? So it'll basically recode its own metadata for the images.
Yeah, there's a really easy way to check that for yourself. Etsy renames those image files, and what she means is people will name their image file, which is important on a website. You name your image file, like when you save it to your desktop, blah, 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 .jpeg.
You should do that for your own sanity anyway.
Right. But on Etsy specifically, they'll rename that, and the way that you can check that is hover your mouse over one of your Etsy images, right-click it, save it as a JPEG, and see the weird file name that it saves as. It's not going to be whatever you saved it as on your desktop. It's going to be a random assortment of letters and numbers that they have changed it to. So that's not something that you need to worry about. That is something specifically for websites, not for Etsy. I don't know if Amazon or any of those other seller sites do it, but their algorithms are so advanced.
That's a Google specific thing, and that's another one of those things where like Google will block people out for doing that too much because people will just throw straight up just like spam keywords into photo titles and then put a shitload of, a crap load of photos on their website, and then they'll get in trouble from Google. So
right.
don't worry about that for Etsy. If you have your own website, look into it, but don't spam it because that can get you in trouble.
All right, we'll try to do like questions as we go, but I'll go ahead and get to the second point, let a few questions get in, and we'll do like a few questions after each point, okay?
Yep.
All right, number 2 is your listing quality score. This is a score that we can't see, unfortunately. It's a score that Etsy gives to each of our listings depending on how users interact with that listing, okay? So here's an example. If you've watched my how does rank work on Etsy video? I can't remember what the exact title is. Uh, something like that. I use this example. Say that you are selling what appears to be a big bag of marbles, and your thumbnail photo shows a bunch of marbles, right? And somebody clicks on that listing and they're excited because they think that they're getting a bunch of marbles. And then as they're looking at the listing and they go and they look at the quantity, they realize that the listing is actually only for 1 marble. Then they click off of the listing very quickly because they wanted a bag of marbles, not just 1 marble. This is called bounce rate. This is when someone finds you organically in search. They click on your listing and then they quickly click off of it. This tells Etsy that they did not find what they were looking for. And if enough people do this to your listings, then it tells Etsy that a lot of people saw your listings and didn't like what you were selling because they clicked off of it quickly. So this is one of those things that we have no way to see, okay? The thing that you can do to improve your listing quality score is just be as accurate as possible with everything that you do. And your thumbnail photo that displays in search should really showcase exactly what it is that you're selling on that listing, okay?
Yeah, you should be able to look at it just from thumbnail size and be able to tell what the product is without ever seeing text. Unless you have like a really niche product, I want to be able to see the product in the thumbnail photo and be able to tell exactly what it is without question.
Exactly. And we know that there are exceptions. If you sell like PDFs, for example, like some type of digital file, like, yeah, because, you know, it's hard to show that in a thumbnail. We get it. It's just one of the 7 factors. So, I mean, it is important, but just make sure that everything's accurate. And that's pretty much how you take care of that.
And make sure
one.
your images match your descriptions too.
Yeah, like the big bag of marbles.
Yeah, if the product looks drastically different from what you're selling, then that's a problem. Is the material section directly under the tab section? I put the materials there.
You mean in the tags or tabs?
I'm sure.
Material. When I talk about attributes, this is right under your title. When you're editing a listing or creating a listing, there's a section that says who made it, when did you make it, what is it, and then you can put in like your category, what materials, what color, what's the size. It's all directly under the title section, and then you can edit the listing description. So it's in between title and listing description when you are in your listing editor. So hopefully that makes sense. Candace.
I have different silk scarves with the same name. Does that hurt my ranking?
No, it actually helps your ranking. So when you, and this is one of those things that there's no definitive like source that I can tell you. This is like purely my observation and the observation of my Handmade Alpha Academy students. If any of my HAA students are in the comments, and we're kind of referring to common denominators here, go ahead and chime in and let me know if common denominators have helped you. But basically what we found is that using a similar keyword or the same keyword in all of your lists. Are you taking a picture of him?
Yeah, because I have an idea.
Okay. Using a similar keyword or the same keyword in a lot of your listings basically tells Etsy that that's what you're all about. So for example, in my shop, I sell skeleton key necklaces. And in my shop, what I get are, you know, a lot of people who are searching for skeleton key necklaces. And if you go into Etsy and you search skeleton key necklace, go ahead and test it for yourself, you'll probably find some of my listings on page 1. And all of my listings share the term skeleton key necklace. Therefore, Etsy knows that I specialize in skeleton key necklaces because that is what my whole shop is about. So if you sell silk scarves and you have everything listed as a silk scarf, Etsy's going to say, you're the silk scarf lady. We're going to make sure that anyone searching for silk scarves is going to see the silk scarf lady. So yes, you can repeat. Happy mouth.
Would you suggest putting the item name first in your title, then the description is better, like necklace and then blue turquoise?
It doesn't, I mean, yeah, you want to make sure that you make it a little bit human friendly. I like to get as descriptive as possible at the beginning of my keywords, but make sure that you're looking those up and you're not ever using a term like necklace by itself. That is a head keyword, and you will not rank for a keyword that is that saturated. So get as specific as possible and do your research using erank.com.
Is naming photos important for a platform like Shopify? Sorry, off topic. We can't say for certain.
We don't know.
If it's your own website and Google is pulling directly from it, then probably. But we're not professionals when it comes to this stuff. For websites.
Yeah.
I'd say for Etsy, we're about as close to professional as you can get. But
we don't know crap about Shopify.
No, our website isn't on Shopify.
Google it.
I can't really tell you. Google,
Yeah.
Google it for sure.
Yep. And
as Shopify SEO stuff.
And we'll go ahead and let's do Jennifer and Susan, and then we'll go on to our next point.
Gotcha. Jennifer, is it okay if they like the item? I get a lot of strollers window shopping.
So there's no definite on that, but I do not believe that it hurts when someone engages positively with your listing. Because favorites are a positive signal to Etsy, I would say that favorites absolutely don't have any negative effect if someone clicks and favorites your listing. I think that that would put it either in a neutral or positive, into neutral or positive consideration from Etsy. But there is no answer to that. There's just no reason that they would, penalize a shop for getting favorites. And Susan will do hers, and then we'll go on.
Can one person do that several times and mess up your bounce rate? I don't think so.
That's a really hard one. We don't believe so because I believe that it would work probably by unique user ID and IP.
Probably mostly off of your wide area network IP address, which is the IP address that you can't change. Your internet service provider provides it to you, and it's what websites see when you visit. When you visit a website, they see one specific string of numbers, and the only way to change that is to get a completely new modem or router, or have one that allows you to change it, which most don't, for security reasons, obviously. So, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Now, if they're going to a bunch of different items and doing it, maybe. But
this is kind of why, if you guys ever see those light games that take place in...
They're so dumb. Don't do them.
Yeah, and it used to be a big thing when we had Etsy, little Etsy teams and things, which they're still Etsy teams, but in Facebook groups, people will say, oh, here's my shop. Let's all do a like ladder. Everybody go and like my shop. Everybody go like 10 of my items. I'll go to your shop and like 10 of your items. Yeah, don't do that.
If you want to do that on Facebook and like each other's Facebook pages, and
it doesn't
that's
help,
fine.
though.
It's not going to help you, but I mean, it's no more help than doing it on Etsy.
Yeah.
But it's not going to do any damage to do it on something like Facebook or something like that. So.
Except you end up with a bunch of likes for people who aren't actually interested in buying your products, and you're less likely to show for the people who are. I'm super against ladders. Ladders are very bad for business.
It's like the 2002 equivalent of chain messages. It's really not good for pretty much any shopping platform.
Yeah. All right. So factor number three that contributes to search placement is recency. Now, factor number 2 was quality score, right? The way that shoppers interact with a listing. But if you list a brand new item, it obviously can't have a listing quality score because nobody's interacted with it. So where does it go? What Etsy does is it gives it a neutral quality score, and it boosts it in the search page. It gives you a little boost on that brand new listing. And it gives Etsy time to figure out how users are going to interact with that listing. So it might stick you on page 1 or page 2. And then it takes a few days to a few weeks for Etsy to monitor how people are interacting with that listing. Are they clicking on it? Have you gotten any sales? Are there any good reviews? Are people favoriting it? You know, how are people checking out your listing? And then it will assign a quality score. Now, what people used to do and what used to work very, very well a long time ago was that we would all go once a day if we really wanted to spend a lot of money, or, you know, once a week if we were penny pinchers, and we would select all of our listings. Even if our listings still had plenty of time before they needed to renew, we would select all of our listings in our shop manager, and we would renew each of them for 20 cents each, even if we didn't have to, and we would do it every single day. 20 cents per listing every single day.
Don't do that.
Etsy caught on to that. And now, if you do that every single day just to try to get that little boost, Etsy starts to recognize that, wow, this person is repeatedly renewing their listing and still nobody's interested and still nobody's buying it. And then Etsy says, wow, this shop must really suck and all these listings must suck because they're renewing every day and they're still not getting sales. We're going to boot these guys all the way to page 10. Don't go in and renew your listings nonstop. It is not good for search placement at all. It can destroy your shop.
Yes, it can. Oh, and that kind of applies to any little bug. If you ever find in your business exploits on Etsy we'll just call it an exploit for now. If you find an exploit, don't abuse it. Like I'm not against beating systems when it comes to internet stuff, because that's what an algorithm is for. The people that are selling on the platform are trying to find the best way to sell on that platform. And there are exploits most of the time. Code isn't perfect. If you find one, be quiet about it. Don't go tell a bunch of people, and don't abuse it on your own accord, because then they're going to change something. That's exactly why like the SEO keeps changing on Etsy year after year. It's because people like us and other people, they figure out certain little tricks with the algorithms, and then some people go and take it a little too far, and then they have
write bots that
they'll write bots that will just make them millions of dollars, and then Etsy has to go, oh crap, emergency response, and then just change everything.
Yeah.
So if you find an exploit, zip it.
Yeah.
Keep quiet about it.
Sharon, you said, well, would that still be the case for something like handmade jewelry? I can't remember what you were referring to when you asked that. So could you reiterate, and we'll try to hit that question when we get there. Nancy, I thought titles should not have repetitive words. That's not what I mean. I don't mean repeat keywords in one title. I mean that if you have a lot of titles, you know, for a lot of different listings, you can use the same keyword in multiple listings. So if I have we'll say I'm making skeleton key necklaces and I've got one with the dragon and one with a wolf and one with a fairy, I can say dragon skeleton key necklace, wolf skeleton key necklace, fairy skeleton key necklace. And yes. Etsy will realize that if all I sell is skeleton key necklaces, that I want to be known for skeleton key necklace. I'm not saying repeat the same word over and over again in your title. That's just wasting keyword space. Let's see.
Oh, and somebody gave that one, but Sarah said she highly recommended the eRank group where they do Q&As.
Yes.
And you can see the paid subscription stuff. They just added a new keyword list tool. It's awesome. Tracking up to 20 listings. Yeah, for real. Like if you eRank is by far the best SEO tool that you can
Absolutely.
get for Etsy. I don't care what anybody says. People can try to argue that all they want, but the stats don't lie. So
oh, and it's not, well, it's the most popular Etsy SEO tool, and it's actually, if we've been looking at the stats,
it's one of the most popular SEO tools, period.
Yeah, it's growing to be one of the most popular SEO tools out there, and that's because Anthony Wolf is an awesome guy, and he 100% runs based on user suggestions. Occasionally we'll have users who suggest something that just isn't possible because Etsy would get mad. You know, we have to stay within what Etsy will allow.
There are limitations to basically trying to beat a system like we just talked about.
Exactly. And not to mention there are people who write bots for E-Rank and try to, steal everything that, everything that most users would pay for. So it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
But Happy Mouth had asked, I started using eRank yesterday from your videos. What extra thing does the paid eRank subscription that give me that will push me forward? There are so many things. So the most useful tool that you can get out of eRank's paid subscription, which is $9.99 per month. However, we are next week going to be releasing a plan for $5.99 per month that will have a lot of pro features, but with smaller quotas, so you don't get to use them as much. But
it's good for you newbies that don't have a lot of listings.
Exactly. We wanted to create something, especially with coronavirus and people who can't afford that $10 a month. We wanted to make sure that there was something in between free and pro. So eRank Basic should be releasing sometime next week. But if you want to use a paid subscription for eRank, some of the things that you can utilize when you have a paid subscription that you cannot utilize with free are the Keyword Explorer. That one is huge. You can see search volumes on Etsy. You can see basically the estimated search for how many Etsy shoppers or how many people are actually searching for specific keywords. That is extremely useful. Keyword List is probably my new favorite tool. So it used to be if you had keywords in your listings, you had to go in and actually re-look up those keywords over and over again month by month to make sure that they're still popular, because trends change, right? One month something might be super popular, and then the next month that trend might die out, and you want to replace those bad keywords if they have fizzled out in trends. What you can do is add all of those keywords into a really pretty little list, and you can color coordinate it and add little notes to it. It's basically a replacement for tracking your keywords with pen and paper. You could add them all into your own little list. And it keeps you from having to actually go search for them one by one. You can just save them all, go to your list, look at the keywords that are in your list, and then you'll know if you need to update your keywords that you're using in your listing tags and titles. So this is not a big sales pitch for eRank. I don't get paid on commission. I am the head of PR and marketing, so I just kind of make pretty graphics. But at the same time, it's a tool that I feel that everyone should use. And if you have any questions about it, sign up for a free membership, take a look around, and decide for yourself if you feel that you need the upcoming eRank Basic or the Pro plan. So, all right, let's move on to our next factor, which I can flip this over. All right.
We need to scoot through these a little more. We'll probably hold off on questions for a few minutes because we have quite a bit more to get through here.
Yeah. All right, so customer market and experience score. This is another score that we have no way to look at. This is something that Etsy gives us behind the scenes. And this basically is the factor of great reputation and how Etsy ties in your shop reputation into search placement. And that makes total sense, right? If somebody has a really bad reputation and they have bad reviews and terrible customer service and they've had a bunch of cases filed against their shop, Etsy doesn't want to recommend that shop on page one. Etsy wants to make sure that they are serving their buyers first. And they're going to recommend the shops that have great customer service, right? And it's not just customer service. They also want to recommend shops that are complete. So these are all of those little things that many sellers don't take the time to do. They don't take the time to fill out. This is the stuff that you really, really need to take the time to work on so your shop looks complete and it looks inviting to buyers. So some of those factors include having a complete policies section.
Yes.
That's a huge one.
You should do that anyway.
Yeah, why would you not have policies for your shop?
If there's a section to put stuff in it.
Exactly.
And no matter what platform you're on.
Don't ever leave a section blank when you're setting up a shop, okay?
Yeah.
So complete policies, positive reviews. So obviously that's up to your buyers. However, you need to make sure that you have great customer service so that you can support those good reviews. And your about section. Your about section actually contributes to search placement. This is the section at the very bottom of your shop that has the little photo reel and the description about your shop. These are two very, very important sections that you should be utilizing to talk more about yourself and your process and let your buyers get to know a little bit more about who you are. So, customer and market experience score, basically this is your reputation in the marketplace, and Etsy will rank you higher based on your reputation. Okay.
Repetition. Don't worry about questions and stuff. We're gonna keep doing this for now.
All right, I'll do number 5 and then we'll get through.
Yeah.
We're fine. All right, number 5 is shipping price. And I know that this upsets a lot of you. It upsets me too. Please don't down thumb this video because I'm spreading the word of Etsy.
It sucks.
It does suck.
Shipping prices suck right now, and they're probably about to suck more. So
In 2018, Etsy surveyed shoppers and asked them about what they thought of shipping prices. And shoppers said that they were 50% less likely to complete a purchase if they thought that shipping prices were too high. This is an actual survey. Etsy is taking real feedback from the people who matter most, the shoppers. And Etsy is applying that to their platform. So Etsy is now incentivizing shops to offer free shipping by placing them higher in search. If you can offer free shipping, there is a chance that you can be offered higher in search. But if you cannot offer free shipping, it doesn't mean that you will not be found in search. It just means that if you have a competitor that is able to offer free shipping, you might be below them. Okay, but
figure out who their suppliers are.
Other factors like having a better reputation than them, a better customer market experience score, things like that can still factor you above them. So what I do in my shop is I offer free shipping to the US. I incorporate the shipping price. For me, it's about $2 to $3. I incorporate that into the item price. And international shoppers still have to pay shipping. So I only have free local shipping. That's always an option. But don't stress over this one. There are 7 factors that contribute to search placement on Etsy, and this is just one of them. So you can still survive. I pay for shipping on almost everything that I buy on Etsy. I very seldom shop with the sellers who offer free shipping, not because I'm trying not to. It's just most of them, by the time I'm ready to check out, I see that there's a shipping price, and I don't really care about it. So,
yep, some people care. Some people don't.
Yep.
Don't stress about it too much. If you can't offer it, you can't offer it. I mean, you should be trying to balance how much you're paying for supplies and things like that anyway. Obviously, you don't want to just go with the cheapest bidder when you're buying supplies, but at the same time, you also don't want to just go with the most expensive, because that doesn't always necessarily mean you're receiving the best quality things.
Yeah.
Some people just like to charge more for their stuff, so just be aware. There's other places you can cut corners if you have to.
Okay, second to last one, and then we'll answer questions, and then we'll do the last one because the last one's a big one. Number 6, translations and language. This one is going to apply to you if you live in a country that either speaks a different language from English, or if you have a different dialect. Okay, so basically, when you set up your Etsy shop, maybe long ago, you probably selected a language, right? Whatever language you selected is the language that you should be doing your SEO in, your tags and your titles, right? You want to make sure that you're doing it in whatever language it is that you selected. Now, Etsy does translate. If you are trying to appeal to people who live in two different countries, maybe who speak 2 different languages, you might decide, I'll just let Etsy's translations take care of it. But Etsy themselves have said that their translations are not very good. Which you guys probably know how that works if you've ever tried to translate something with Google.
Oh, man.
It's usually pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, and I imagine they probably use a Google API for that, so.
Or something worse.
Yeah. I mean, Google's is free, I think.
So if you're using multiple languages, make sure that you are taking care of your own translations for your tags and titles. This is only going to apply to a select few of you. This is if you are really like split down the middle. Maybe you say that half of my buyers are in the US and half of my buyers are in, I don't know, Mexico, we'll say. And you absolutely have to use 2 different languages to make sure that you're keeping both of your audiences, in the loop. That might be an occasion where you do it. So, all right, let's go ahead and get through some questions.
We're going to get through a couple questions, then we got one more, and then blah, blah, blah.
And then I've got like a few little tidbits at the end.
Do you suggest paying for Etsy ads?
So, that is really, really hard to say because it really just depends on your shops.
Your shop, your products, and a bunch of millions of other factors.
Yeah, it's another one of those things where even if you're paying for Etsy ads, you still need to have good SEO. You need to have good photos, good thumbnails. Your pricing needs to align right. You need to make sure that your shop looks professional. And those are all factors that are going to contribute to whether your ads convert. You can either bet on the winning racehorse, which is a shop with great SEO and great, photos and things, or you can bet on your donkey, which is, we'll say, your shop that looks really bad and doesn't look professional. You could still bet the same amount of money on both of them, but it's the racehorse that's going to win. So you need to make sure that you're betting on your winning racehorse. Not only that, but if you decide that you're going to promote on Etsy, you should promote the listings that are already selling well. Promote your best sellers. Put your money into the winning racehorses, not the ones that, that aren't selling. If they're not selling, the one, what would make you think that they're going to sell when you put money into them? Focus on the things that are selling well if you decide to promote on Etsy. And if you're not making a lot of sales yet, you might need to work out some kinks before you decide to put money into it.
Recency. So when a listing expires, is it good to copy and create the same listing as a new one rather than renew?
No, renew. Your listing, even if it expires, it holds on to its score. And if it sells over and over again, that's telling Etsy that this is a bestseller. Do not, when a listing fizzles out and expires, do not copy that information into a new listing. Renew that same listing. Now, what you shouldn't do is renew that same listing and put a totally different product in there. Don't renew a listing and change the product itself. Because if someone favorited that item, maybe a few months ago and they plan to buy it, and then they go into their favorites and they see a product that's totally different than what they favorited, they're going to feel kind of icky about your shop, right? So I would never copy a listing. Yeah, renew it because it's still recency. Every time it renews, that's
a new listing.
That's a new listing. That's a new listing of the same product.
But it's also carrying data from every time that it's been purchased. So
exactly.
Leave it. It gives it a higher rating in the SEO. So
exactly.
I'm in the process of moving, so I just deactivated all my items temporarily because vacation mode killed me after Christmas. Is it okay, or does it show negatively as bounce back?
There's no bounce.
Bounce has to do with people clicking on the items and then immediately leaving. That's not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
As far as temporarily,
there's no.
I don't really know what that would.
You're not
gonna be honest with you.
You're not gonna get a listing quality score because people aren't going to be interacting with your listings. My big piece, it's going to do pretty much the same thing that vacation mode did to your shop. I know that you're trying to avoid that.
There's really no way to avoid it though.
I just posted a video on vacation mode a couple weeks ago. Maybe watch that because vacation mode isn't that hard to recover from. It's hard to recover after Christmas. And keep in mind, buyers aren't shopping after Christmas. They don't have money. They've spent it all on Christmas. So that's a natural slow period. To stack recovering from vacation mode on top of a naturally slow period, it's normal. I would say that you've piled two negative factors on top of each other, but go check out that video.
New shop, and I'm renewing only one listing in my shop, so it's bad to renew it. I renew it properly. No, renew it when you need to.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Just don't go into your shop every single day and renew it. You're just wasting your money at that point. Why would Etsy change an exploit that would allow them and a seller to make millions? So it's bad PR, number one, and it's a monopoly. So it's one of those things where if a shop figures out the system and they're able to put, say, a listing number one, page one all the time, no excuses, no one can put their listing in front of that. What they're going to do is they're going to go and do the same thing to all of their listings, and they're going to flood whatever particular market that they have. And then they're going to announce that or say what they did to anybody else. But the thing is they were there first. And when it comes to Etsy, when it comes to SEO, the amount of times a product has been purchased makes a difference, and the amount of time a listing has been up makes a difference. So it doesn't matter what anybody does after that person, because that person did it first and is selling those
They
products.
got the head start.
They got the head start. So no one is ever going to be able to push in front of that person, period. And then other people in other industries are going to do that, and you're going to have like 1 to 10 people in any particular industry be the head of that industry, and no one will ever be able to catch up. It's not good. It's not good for, we'll say, capitalism. It's not good for e-commerce, because it just creates this like overwhelming monopoly in every industry where nobody can succeed. And it's, if Etsy were like branding products themselves, kind of like how like Walmart and Target will have like a whole section of like furniture or like a whole brand of stuff that is just theirs, that'd be fine. But Etsy doesn't do that. So they have to have tons of people, so they have a community. Because you got to consider that, like, I'd probably say that I'm not going to say a majority, but a large portion of the people that shop on Etsy are also sellers on Etsy. So like, if the sellers are leaving, they're not going to buy from the website anymore either. So it's a health thing. It's a website health
You
thing.
don't want them to not get rid of, bugs in the algorithm like that. You want them to stay updated.
Competition is healthy, and as much as it sounds nice to like be number one, for one, you're gonna get lackadaisical if you're just number one all the time, and you're gonna fall out of it. And when a change does eventually happen, when you're so used to doing one thing, it's gonna screw you over in the end. So you want that constant change, that constant competition. As much as people complain and gripe and just bleh about everything that Etsy does, they do it because they have to change as a business. They're growing. Their stocks are growing. People are investing in their company. They're getting more people that want to put money into them. So they have to adapt to keep those people happy, because those people make them more money than probably the shoppers do.
We'll probably run over a little bit.
That's fine.
Time today,
I don't care.
I want to get through questions.
Yeah, I want to get through questions and copy some stuff. We can do a few more.
Yeah. Candace, my abstract scarps have the exact same title for all of them. So 10 scarps with the exact same name, no color differences. It's all abstract design differences. So my titles are okay. I would add, if the scarves look different, there is a differentiating factor.
Yeah.
Regardless of if they're abstract, you've got to throw in like one differentiating factor in there.
Yeah, you got to be able to tell.
Because you're not appealing. The thing is, it's probably not going to hurt you, but what is happening is you're only being shown for people who are searching for that one single thing. That's like having a tree branch like a tree that just goes straight up and doesn't have branches. It's just the trunk that goes straight. You want to have branches.
There's a chance a bird might land on the tip of your tree, but if you had branches, you're going to have a whole lot of birds landing on them.
Exactly.
Let's see. Rank is bomb. I registered on E-Rank, but everything is in English. Is there a chance to make everything in German?
Unfortunately, no. And the reason that E-Rank is catered specifically in the U.S., and you know what? I don't want to say no, because I'm not sure if there's a way to make everything in German. However, when you're doing keyword research, it is localized to the United States, and that's because 55% of Etsy shoppers are in the U.S. So usually if something is going to be popular in the U.S., it's also going to be popular in other countries as well.
So, small tip that may work. You may know the answer to this, but something you could do if you're not using Google Chrome, use Google Chrome. And when you go to a website that's different from the language that you have selected as the normal language for yours, a little thing will pop up, usually in the top right under where you close it, that'll say translate ? And it'll auto detect that your language and the language on the screen. You should be able to click translate, and it should translate the text on the screen. I don't know if it'll work for E-Rank. It doesn't work for every website, so don't take that with a grain of salt. But I do that because I get on foreign websites every once in a while.
If you have questions, guys, and you're ever on E-Rank, there's a little blue feedback button in the bottom right-hand corner that you can ask questions and give suggestions. And here's the thing. I know that it's scary to like click a button because you feel like it's going to go to some weird customer service team somewhere. I can tell you exactly who will see that. Anthony Wolf, CEO of E-Rank. Debbie, who's one of my favorite ladies in the whole wide world. And she's
probably in here.
Debbie, she might be. And Pam. Pam is another amazing gal. who has a channel, Pam Duffy, and she covers Etsy videos. That's who's going to see your message. That's who's probably going to answer you.
Yep.
So
I don't work for E-Rank. I can confirm.
yeah. So
I sit over here while they do their little business meetings.
our business meetings. So yeah. Let me know about the $5.99 deal. I'll try it. That should be coming out this Thursday. So, and if you guys are not members of the E-Rank group, go to Facebook, type in E-Rank group, join the E-Rank group, say Starla sent you. There's going to be 3 questions that you have to answer to make sure that you're actually an Etsy seller. Say Starla sent you, and what?
Nothing.
Say that Starla sent you, and we go live every Thursday in the E-Rank group. I was just live yesterday in the E-Rank group, and you can go into the videos tab and watch that. But on Thursday, we'll be talking about the new price plan.
It was this little interaction. You got me, Sharon.
What?
You got me. So it's bad to keep your listings? No, we never said that.
No, it is not bad to keep your list. What? No.
No.
Does E-Rank have a user manual or tutorial? When you get onto E-Rank and you're on your dashboard, in the top right corner, there's a little green button that says help. Click on that. It will expand out, and then there will be buttons for the beginner's guide, which I recorded. I think that we actually are getting rid of that video very soon because we need to update it. So go watch it now if you want to watch it. But you'll get a little help guide that will pop up.
Yes.
And every single tool has a help section. Go to erank.com/features when you're logged in, and you can find the full features page as well.
Connie.
If
I have free shipping but one listing with price and shipping, does that add or hurt my shop overall?
No, it's on a listing by listing basis. I don't think that it's going to hurt your actual shop overall.
No.
All right, let's go ahead and go to factor number 7. And then
Let's go ahead and hit that.
And then we'll
Shopper
finish up.
Babbitts.
Shopper Babbitts. Yeah, I was writing very fast this morning. Number 7 is shopper habits. This is the big one that we talked about at the beginning of the live stream. So if you are just joining us, make sure that you watch the replay. Shopper habits were incorporated in a few years ago. Quit looking down.
I can't help it.
You're like, all you can see is
I'm out of it today, and I'm fidget spinning.
Shopper habits are something that Etsy incorporated into their algorithm a few years ago, and it caused mass pandemonium. So basically, Etsy now incorporates machine learning into the determining factor as to what type of products are going to show on the first page of a search query. What the heck does that mean? Well, if I went onto Etsy right now, and you all went onto Etsy right now, and we all typed in Mother's Day gift, what I see is going to be completely different from what you see.
For most of you.
Now, have you guys ever been on Facebook or maybe you Googled something? You Googled like a product or something, and then on Facebook you started seeing ads for it everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
It's machine learning.
Yes,
and
it is.
Now Etsy's incorporated machine learning into the algorithm, which basically will kind of catalog some of the things that you've shopped for on Etsy. Etsy might notice that I search a lot for fantasy type products and dragons and wolves and mythical creatures. So when I search for Mother's Day gifts, I might get cool mom dragon mugs or cool mama wolf shirts, These are catered specifically to me. And this is why a lot of Etsy gurus say that you cannot rank on page 1 anymore because everyone's page 1 is different. But rank on Etsy is still an amazing way to determine how good your SEO is. Because though our page 1s are all very, very different, we can still look at how that search would look or how it would pop up, how it would populate if the user had no search history whatsoever. So
do you want to explain how the whole search thing works?
You?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I like to think of it as like a multi-tiered, like 3-dimensional geographic map, right? So starting at like the base level, there's your WAN IP address, basically your identifier for your house, everything that you search for Even the stuff that you pop up your little incognito window to search for, it's all associated with your WAN IP. Unless you're using a VPN, that's a little bit different. So everything that you search for is going to categorize you on pretty much every website that you get on. Your what you see will be influenced by that. But up above that, you also have the things that people in your area are into. So like, say you bought a brand new computer, brand new laptop. It's never been searched for before. You've never been on Etsy, or so we'll just say the internet in general, at your house. Brand new internet connection, brand new computer, whatever. You're going to see things more relative to the people that are in your area that are searching for it. Say you're not searching for a niche product. Say you're searching for something like soaps that isn't very niche. Everybody uses freaking soap. And the things that are more popular in your area in that particular niche are going to show up for you before things that are a little more niche. Say you're searching for one particular spice scent. Those things aren't going to show up for you. You're going to see things that are popular for your area. And I know a lot of people say that you can use a VPN, but the thing is, when you start using a VPN, you're going to start... VPNs go off of location, right? So you're going to see things for whatever location you're then looking up. There's no way to really boof the system and make it show anything like that. But once you combine those factors together, then you have this mishmash of things. But that's not necessarily saying that those search criteria are the only things that influence. It's one factor that influences it. So when people say that you can't push your listings forward in search, it's absolutely not true. That's one factor that's contributing to maybe your placement on a page. But saying it like, oh, you can't get your listings to page one, you absolutely can get your listings to page one. It may not be only you that's doing it though. The history of the listing, how many of them you've sold, how often they sold, how often you keep them stocked up, the popularity of the item, how many people are favoriting it, how many people are putting it in their carts. There's so many other factors that contribute to your listing being on page one than things that are within your control. There are more factors out of your control than are in your control. So the best you can do is making sure that your SEO is on point, your photos are on point, your descriptions are on point, your shop looks good, you've got good everything, and then hope that your product is something that a lot of people want. If they don't, then you might need to go back to the drawing board, take that product and make it something that more people are going to be interested in, unless you want it to be niche. Some people don't want to sell 100,000 products in a year. That sounds like a nightmare to me. But some people do. So it just make sure that you're covering all of your bases, and then you don't have to feel bad if a product doesn't sell. It might just be an interest that you have that very few other people have. That's business.
That's why it's important to find your niche before you start making your products,
Exactly.
which most people don't do. I didn't do. But all right, there's two ways that you can check your rank on Etsy, and one of them is only going to take you a second. Mm-hmm. Go to Etsy, go into your stats, and look at the listings that are driving the most traffic within your stats. Your actual stats section will show the listings that are driving the most traffic. That's a good signal that if they're driving the most traffic, that your SEO for those listings is probably pretty good.
I have a reason for why I keep doing this, guys. I am sorry. I have reasons.
Anyway, look at your stats. Listings that are driving the most traffic are the ones that are, obviously doing a lot better. They have better SEO than the ones who are not getting a lot of traffic. So that's one way to check. But that's the newbie way to check. Now let's talk about the way to check that is going to give you a more precise number. Go to erank.com. Yeah, and if you have a free membership, you can still use this tool, okay? There is a quota for it, though. I think it's 20 searches. Yeah. Type in the keyword that you would like to see that you're ranking for in the rank checker tool. So for me, I might type in skeleton key necklace, rank checker tool, okay? And then eRank will populate a bunch of your listings that are performing well, or in order from, who's performing the best to the worst, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And what page that they would appear on if the shopper had no prior search history on Etsy. And if you see that some of those listings are landing on page 1 or page 2 in organic search, that means that the SEO for those particular listings is probably pretty good. If you see some that are all the way back on page 10, it might be time to go in and freshen up those listings. And we also recommend that you only freshen up listings like one at a time, and then give it a few weeks and then check back. Because if you go in and you change all of your listings all at once and you mess up, and
you're not going to know what you did.
You're not going to know what you did wrong. You're not going to know what listing you goofed up. You could tank your whole shop and completely disappear from search altogether. So one at a time, gauge, check the water temperature on it, see how your views change. You can use the change tracker tool, which I believe is a pro exclusive feature. But the change tracker tool will show you a little bit more about how changes to your listing titles actually affect the number of views and favorites and sales that a listing receives. And then if you notice that all of your views disappear and you start, not making sales anymore and you're not getting favorites anymore, you can actually backdate and see what the title or what the SEO that you had used previously is, what your old title was, so you can put it back to how it was before you made the change.
Yeah.
So
business isn't a race. Be the wise turtle, not the stupid rabbit.
Exactly. That's a good quote. Mark quote 2020.
that's a pretty abrasive comment. Sorry.
Sandra, if you can only offer free shipping on a few listings, would it be better to offer free shipping on your most popular items? Yeah, I would say so. If I was going to offer,
if you can afford free shipping, dude, give free shipping.
Yeah, if you could do it for your best sellers, yeah. One thing I will say is that if somebody wants to buy more than one item, they might wonder why this item has free shipping and this one doesn't. That would be my only thing. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you might have to test for yourself because we really don't have data on it, but test it. Test it for a couple weeks.
I made 6 Etsy stores and spend 8 to 10 hours each day designing. I'm going to assume you meant listings and not stores.
I think that they meant stores.
If you started up 6 completely different Etsy shops, you're trying way too hard.
Yeah.
There is a limit. Like, I would start with one and try to build that one, because the thing is, like, even if you get a couple of them off the ground, there's absolutely no way you can keep up with a bunch of orders from 6 different shops. There's no way.
Here's my little analogy that I use with my Handmade Alpha Academy students, okay? Say that you need to build 2 houses, okay? You have no shelter and you need to build 2 houses. You would not start building them both at the same time. You wouldn't put, okay, well, now we're going to lay down the foundation, and now we're going to put up the walls on both of our houses. It would take dramatically longer for you to actually have shelter if you built them both at the same time. What you want to do is build one of your houses, finish it up, make sure that you have a roof over your head, somewhere nice to sleep, and then while you're living in that house, you can start building your second house. If you're trying to build them both at the same time, you're going to end up taking more time overall. I would focus your energy into one shop, get that shop off the ground. That would be like trying to get, like, maybe you want to be, you're going to college and you're trying to get a degree, but that would be like trying to get 6 degrees at the same time. Get 1 degree at a time,
It takes more than twice the amount of time to do twice as much work.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know if having your shop on vacation mode for a longer period of time, let's say 5 weeks, affects your ranking?
I believe that it will affect your listing quality score. Because, I mean, you have to consider that nobody's engaging with your shop for 5 weeks. I don't know if Etsy factors in time, but regardless, when people aren't engaging with your listings, Etsy kind of decategorizes you. What I recommend doing is when you return from vacation mode, go ahead and renew all of your listings on that occasion because they've been inactive for so long.
Yeah.
Let them go ahead and get that little boost, or at least renew like your bestsellers. Let them get that little boost in search, especially if you're super confident that once people see them, they'll buy them. That's why I said bestsellers. And that might help to improve your ranking. But that's one of the only times that I think that you should renew, just out of the blue.
And you're good on being burned out, Vanessa. I think everybody's a bit burned out right now. So me paying for my listings isn't good. I don't get it. You have to renew your listing for 20 cents, right? That's a bad thing.
No.
No.
So how long are listings active, guys? 60 days? I think it's 60 days. Your listing has a life cycle of, we'll say 60 days. It might be like 120. Can you Google it on your phone? How long before a listing renews on Etsy? Okay. Your listing has a life cycle of X number of days that Mark is looking at. And it will be up on Etsy in your shop.
4 months.
4 months. Okay. So it will be up on Etsy for 4 months. And every time it sells, that counts as a renewal. But if it doesn't sell in 4 months, not even one time, if it does not sell at all, it will renew either automatically, if you have your shop set up to do that, or it will go into your expired listings where you have to go in and renew it manually. None of this negatively affects your shop.
No.
And when you make sales and it renews after a sale, because every time it sells, it renews again, that affects your shop positively. However, what sellers sometimes do is, because you get a little boost every time it renews, sellers think that they're tricking Etsy into thinking that they're making sales and getting a boost by going in and renewing every single day. Even if your listings are already active in your shop, you can go into the back end of your shop, into your shop manager, and renew them anyway. It doesn't matter that they're already in your shop. You can still renew them and give Etsy 20 cents per listing. And sellers would do this every single day, where they would, spend, we'll say, I don't know, how much would it be to renew 20 cents per listing for 100 listings? You're good at math.
Math off the top of my head, but I'm this tired. Don't ask.
20 cents per listing, 100 listings. Somebody do some math.
2,000 cents.
2,000 cents. You pay
$20.
$20. There you go.
You're talking about $20 a day.
Yeah, they'll pay that much just to get their listing boosted in search every single day. And this is what hurts your shop, because even if you're doing that every single day, if no one's buying your listings,
and your freaking wallet, you're spending $140 a week. Screw that.
Yeah.
Only renew them when you have to or when they sell. That's the basic advice.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific advice for those of us who only sell one-off jewelry pieces?
External marketing. If you one-of-a-kind sellers struggle on Etsy because you guys do not have the ability to make repeat buyers, which is what Etsy kind of uses to gauge who's going to show first in search. They want to see bestsellers, and you can't have a bestseller if you make one-of-a-kind products. I have 2 suggestions. Suggestion number 1 is to make your one-of-a-kind pieces, but add something to your shop that you can make over and over again. That's what I did. I used to only sell one-of-a-kind pieces, and now I found a few pieces that I can make over and over again. Some of my products are very limited. I'll make only 5 to 10 of them each, and once they sell out, they're gone. But I also have a lot of pieces that I will just remake over and over and over again. That way I can generate bestsellers from those. That's what I would recommend doing the most. Your second option is to market externally and put all of your time and energy into marketing on social media, into creating a Facebook group, and building yourself up as an artist and selling yourself as an artisan.
Yeah, so that's the thing about one-off stuff. Is it like, you're not Gucci, right? Like you're not one of these high-end brands that people just want to have the one-off thing for. So you got to understand, you've got to build hype around yourself and around your business. You have to give people a reason to want to have your one-of-a-kind item. Because if people are just buying a one-of-a-kind item for just the sake of buying, there's no real reason to that. People buy one-of-a-kind items to show them off most of the time, right? When you're talking about jewelry and stuff like that, people are like, oh, where'd you get that? It's, oh, don't worry, you can't buy it anyway. It's a one-of-a-kind. You see what I'm saying? You have to build hype around yourself.
Exactly. And you have to really push the fact that you are one of a kind. The best way to do that is to stand as an artisan. That's kind of what I did. I've got 25,000 followers by doing that.
Yep.
But there are two factors that contributed to me being able to do that. Factor number one is that Facebook used to be a lot more, you had more visibility. When you liked a Facebook page long, long ago, do you remember you used to like a Facebook page and you got to see everything that they posted?
Yeah, it ain't like that anymore.
It isn't like that anymore.
You have to look for it.
Not only do you have to look for it as a page, you have to pay to get your content seen by people who have liked your page.
We call that machine learning.
So and
every website's doing it.
Well, Facebook now has ads. Back in the day, there were no Facebook ads, not like that.
Well, YouTube's doing it the same way. Like when I go back through and I look at like my subscriptions, if I'm just looking at like recently uploaded and like recommended videos, most of the time it's stuff that I watch frequently. But if I go through my subscriptions, I'll stumble across a channel I haven't watched in like 4 years and be like, oh crap, well, I wonder what this guy's doing now. Everybody's using machine learning now.
Exactly. So that's one factor that contributed to my success. Facebook was a more level playing field. I built an audience when it was easy to build an audience, but it's harder now. Factor number two that contributed to my success was I completely lost my train of thought. Building an audience. Oh, I've been around for a long time. It's been almost 9 years. You've got to consider how many people I've been able to collect into my net over a 9-year period. I've had 9 years to get 25,000 people in my little circle. So if you're, newer or you've been around for 2 years or 3 years, consider how much longer you have to go, and all the hours that I put into it. And it gets easier. The more people that follow you, it's almost like, I always say it's like pushing a snowball up a mountain. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard as you're pushing up, and the snowball's getting bigger, but you're putting all this energy in. But once you get to the top of the mountain, your snowball's complete. And then
it'll roll on its own.
Momentum takes over and it rolls down the mountain on its own. So, let's see. Does the number of listings in my shop affect my visibility in search? Yes, kind of. Usually
it's a mixed bag on that one.
Yeah, usually shops that have a lot of listings, because a lot of those listings share common keywords, Etsy tends to, you're giving Etsy more signals of what your shop is all about, basically. It's the same as when we're talking about that tree with all of the branches. More listings are like more branches and more opportunities to reach shoppers, especially if you're doing good SEO for all of those listings. It's like having more branches on your tree. There is a downside to that, though. If I go into a shop and I go into their storefront and I see that they have 5,000 items, I am not going to sit and look at all 5,000 items. In fact, if there are too many items, I often feel so overwhelmed not being able to make a choice that I choose to not make a choice at all. There's a really interesting book called The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz that I highly recommend that you guys go watch. It talks about how having more choices actually leads to less overall happiness. And if you're not into reading, he also has a TED Talk that covers this exact topic. What are you doing?
Our freaking camera did that thing again.
Oh.
There we go.
You can watch a TED Talk where he goes over the exact topic, but I highly recommend checking out the book. It's The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. The cover is yellow with a bunch of little eggs on it.
I'm sure camera didn't just automatic. Sorry about that.
All right, we already covered one of a kind. Okay.
We're gonna do like 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll we're a little bit over.
I'm gonna try to rush through them. Is it bad to update your SEO and title every day to see if it works better? Because each time I learn something new, I change my listings.
Yes,
so bad, so bad, like awful, terrible. Don't do that. It can take Etsy up to 60 days to recognize that you have changed your SEO. So if you're doing it every single day,
you're not learning anything.
You're not learning anything, and Etsy is probably, there's no way, absolutely no way. 60 days. I know that sucks, but you're not collecting data. A day is not enough to collect data. You have to have time for Etsy to recognize your keywords, catalog you for your keywords, put you in your search placement, and then allow users to interact with your listing based on those keywords. So, make sure that you're letting them sit.
Do you recommend Etsy Plus?
Etsy Plus does not do anything to contribute to like search placement or anything. You get a couple cool things like a carousel banner, and you can feature shop sections. If you've got the extra money and you really don't care to spend it, go ahead, but it's not going to make or break you. I have it, but it's more of an aesthetic thing. It's not going to contribute to like more sales if that's what you're asking.
If I make jewelry and I copy a product which is online, so I don't have to write everything new. When it's a similar product, I only make the title and tags. Is that an option?
So you mean like have the same description? Yeah, it might be. As a shopper, I might be.
If it's your own description, don't copy somebody else's.
Well, yeah. I would hope that you're not doing that. As a shopper, I kind of don't like when I go to read a little bit more about a product and it's just the same description used over and over. There's got to be something that you can go. I mean, there are times when I have 200 listings in my shop. Not right now because my suppliers are all out of business right now for coronavirus. But if I'm able to do it and run Handmade Alpha Academy and record YouTube videos, I'm positive that you can write a unique description for your products in order to better service your customers. It's not going to affect your search placement or anything like that, but it is going to affect the people who are actually purchasing, which is who you should be trying to make your shop, catered towards.
If I have a tag that's customized jewelry, for example, will it also show up as custom jewelry, or do I need another tag to add the word custom?
So Etsy's really smart, okay? Their algorithm can generally pick up things that need to be grouped together, but there's no way to know exactly what they group together. You do not need to reuse the term jewelry over and over. If you've got jewelry in there once, I wouldn't do customized jewelry and custom jewelry, for example. But what I would do is go into eRank, use the keyword tool if you're a free user or the keyword explorer if you're a pro user. Search for both of them and use the one that has the best search volumes. That's what I would do. Let's see.
Will you recommend keyword stuffing on the title or a title that clearly describes the product?
So that
it's kind of a mixed bag on that one.
So Etsy recommends both. Etsy recommends writing a short descriptive sentence that describes your product. However, what I personally noticed is that it doesn't matter. I keyword stuff my titles. I do it the old school way. I still show up on page 1 for all of my searches. I do fantastic that way. It's going to work differently for everyone, but I would say experiment for yourself and figure out what is reaping the best results for you. I can confirm, though, that keyword stuffing hasn't negatively affected my shop at all. In fact, if anything, it is what keeps me on top of page 1 for my keywords. So
yeah, mixed bag. Like using a private window to check Etsy rankings. Yeah, using a private window, I mean, it kind of helps, but realistically, it's going off of what you search for, and because you're already on Etsy constantly looking at your listings, it's probably not going to do you any good. Have a friend do it. Do you have a VPN you could recommend? Yeah, Nord, sponsor me. NordVPN is a good one.
What about Tunnel Bear?
Tunnel Bear? I don't know. Everybody has stopped recommending Tunnel Bear, and I don't know if there's a reason for that, but Nord has been around for a long time.
What is the name of the eRank Facebook group you talked about? Just type in eRank group, and the little icon that'll show up is like, here, you know what?
I wasn't done on the previous
Oh, I'm
comment.
sorry. Go ahead.
I honestly, unless you specifically need a VPN, don't get one. I mean, for the most part, there's no real reason to use a VPN unless you're doing things you don't want your internet company to see. Some people have a VPN on always. And if you're into that and you actually care about what your internet company sees, fine, but I don't do anything that I would really care if people knew I did, so doesn't really matter.
All right, I went ahead and put the eRank group link down below. Just be sure to answer the 3 questions and tell them that Starla sent you. You'll see my little character on the banner and the rest of the eRank team. So, yeah.
So since I have one-of-a-kind products there will never be a multiple of, does that mean my SEO is different than others?
It means
absolutely.
It means that your search ranking is different than others.
You don't have listings that are constantly repeating selling the same thing.
Yeah, you are not making repeat sales. So it's going to be harder for you when you don't have products that are replicatable. unfortunately.
Your big thing is not going to be organic search. Your big thing is going to be off-site marketing.
Yeah, external marketing.
Yeah, trying to even possibly getting your own website up. Honestly, if you can get your own website set up, it's probably going to be more successful than Etsy. I mean, I guess I can't really make that statement, but you're going to find easier success doing things like Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and even Tumblr, Twitter. Build yourself up on social media. Find wherever you get the most hype from people and stick to it.
Cool. We're almost at the bottom.
Yep.
Tina, off this subject, but is there a way to not have Saturday and Sunday sales be due on Friday? I'm slammed and I need 10 business days to process orders. Etsy also makes sales due out on USPS holidays. Unfortunately,
yeah,
no.
They're pretty derpy with that. I don't get that either. But they're not going to penalize you if USPS is a day over.
Just contact your buyers on holidays, if you're ever concerned, and let them know, hey.
Yeah, let them know. And at the very least, print your labels on the days by the days that they're due, and if you have to actually send them out. That's part of the shipping process. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, you buy from any other website other than Etsy, and a lot of shops will print your label and let it sit for like 4 or 5 days before actually shipping it. Printing the label is part of the shipping process. Once you print the label, the shipping process has started, and if it takes you a couple days to get it out, it takes you a couple days to get it out.
And if your post
only if it's out of your control.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe this has been asked, but will eRank eventually have an app? App development is very different than website development. And right now, we have a very small team of developers. Now, if everybody right now who's in the stream would go to eRank.com and sign up for eRank Pro, right now, we might be able to buy ourselves a really cool app developer. But as of right now...
We're gonna buy a person.
He's
Have him shipped here in a big wood box with a couple holes, and we'll feed him bananas and give him a laptop.
That's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna buy him.
That's awful.
No, we could pay another developer, but right now, our poor guy, Randy, he's a great guy. I feel so bad for him.
He's busy enough.
He's so busy. We can't give him anything else right now because he's not an app guy. And I talk to him every week, and he's probably pulling his hair out trying to get everything ready for you guys. So, like I said, if you guys want to have more options for eRank and more cool stuff, you gotta pay for a pro membership. We gotta have more people on the website before we can do more. And we've got a lot of free users. That's the cool thing about eRank is it's the most popular because there's a lot of people who use it for free because I think it's the only Etsy SEO tool that's free.
Yeah.
But
if it was a new website being built from the ground up, it could be built mobile friendly. But it could potentially be ported to an app easier, but it wasn't. So,
Anthony built it for his wife.
Yeah, he built it from the ground up on his own, and it's a porting thing. It's going to take some time before an app is set up. And then you also have to start looking at a lot of other legal stuff and getting your app on app stores and making them compatible with both iPhones and Android phones, since Apple's got to be different from every other brand on the planet.
All right,
anyway.
Lightning round. Candace, I don't have time to do Etsy editing all day. Besides working each day to edit one at a time, 40 items, how can I make the changes in the shortest amount of time? You gotta
figure that out.
You've got a bulk editor, but I do it.
Everybody does.
I have time. You've got to make time. We can't give you more than 24 hours in a day. You've just got to make time.
Take that extra 2 to 3 minutes you're sitting on the toilet scrolling on Facebook, and don't scroll on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, you save time everywhere that you can.
I talk about toilet marketing, where if you're sitting on the toilet, you're there anyway. You're probably going to be there for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. That's like the best time to post something on like social media for your business because you're there anyway. So, but yeah, you've just got to make time, unfortunately. Does your shop's designation as handmade make a difference in search rank if your items are labeled handmade?
Probably not.
I'm not sure. Honestly.
Probably not. I mean, you got to think that it's Etsy, and people think, oh, it's a handmade marketplace. Putting handmade on there is going to make people want to buy it. So that's probably an incredible. I mean, get on eRank and see what the term handmade is ranking for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably super saturated. I have a product which has an almost unlimited amount of. Should I create scarcity by having only 5 or 6 in stock, or straight up put 50 in stock? Now, I would do scarcity.
Scarcity. We have an alpha.
I wouldn't even do 5 or 6. I would do 2 or 3.
Man, Lori, she's one of my...
If you can keep up with it. Sorry.
Lori from Lori's Laboratory, one of my all-star students, she had a launch a couple months ago, and she created these wolf apothecary jars, and obviously, you know, wolves, hello, I gotta have the wolf thing, and there was only one left. And I was like, oh crap, she just launched these, and she's only got one of these. I gotta buy this. So I went in and I bought it really quickly. She used my own trick on me, that girl. She put quantity of one, and
it works.
I messaged her and I said, Lori, I had to get it. It was the last one. And she's like, but was it really? And then she added another one. So yes, it works because it worked on me.
That's one of the kind of shady things about business, right? You have to take care of your customers for sure. But you also have to use a little bit of trickery and kind of a little bit take advantage of them. But without actually taking advantage of them, you're not really tricking them, but it is a psychological trigger that makes people say, oh, this is probably going to sell out. I don't know when it's going to be back. I'm going to buy it again, right? So there's a little trickery there.
Exploit the fallacies of the human brain. That's what marketing is.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. You're exploiting the fallacies of the human brain. That's literally 100% what marketing is. So, Louise, if a listing hasn't sold over a few months, would you copy it and then deactivate the original listing or give it a second chance? I would, do everything that you can to revive it. But if you have done every single thing that you can and you think that it's just been blacklisted, that would be the occasion where you might want to copy it and create a new one. But give it, I would give it like 4-ish months.
I'd start working over on the SEO, and then if it still doesn't sell, bury your dead.
Yep.
On E-rank, that's an E-rank question. We'll move on to that. If you have E-rank specific questions that are like about how to use the tools and stuff, E-rank does live streams over there. It's usually better to ask those because there's more than just her on there.
Yeah.
And sometimes the questions are a little more difficult because again, she's PR and marketing.
The head of PR and marketing.
Oh my god. Is it okay to update your SEO when it comes to renewal time?
That it doesn't.
If you don't need to, if you don't need to update your SEO, don't update your SEO. Only do it if you need to.
Yeah, there's no real connection between the two.
Is it a real no-no to use tags with 50K use?
It's not a no. It's not really a no-no. If your shop here's the thing, you guys see like high competition rates and things like that when it comes to keywords. However, if you've got great sales reputation and you've got a lot of sales and a lot of good reviews, you can still rank for keywords that have insane competition. I ranked for couples gifts a couple years ago. And that, I mean, go look it up. It's insane. I think, yeah, I was on page 1 for it. But it is possible. You just have to have a good reputation because you have to be able to compete with the people who are at the top. So try it out. Test it. See if it works for you. If you're a new seller, it's probably not going to help you at all. But if you're a seller who has a lot of sales and a lot of good reviews, doesn't hurt to try.
No.
Let's see.
Me and YouTube are going to fight messing up my Starla live alerts.
Oh, we've got replays.
Yeah.
All right, we're at close to the end. What do we have here? I've seen recently that a few of my products started to be added to a cart. I have more than ever. Is it a certain period of time customer can have my product in their cart? I don't think so. I think that it'll just indefinitely remain there until they remove it or purchase it. A lot of people, rather than favoriting it, rather than favoriting the item, they'll add it to their cart. I'm guilty of it. I do it every once in a while. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
On E-rank, is CTR a good way to learn your best keywords?
Click-through rate. It's one of the contributing factors. Click-through rate is if somebody types in a search, that's how likely they were to actually click on one of the listings from that search. That's your CTR, click-through rate. So it's one of the contributing factors, but you also need to look at things like the competition rate. You need to look at things like the number of searches for that term. It's one of the gears. So you can't just have one gear turning by itself. It's one of the gears that works together to turn the full circle. So consider that along with all of the other factors that we show you on erank.com. Does Etsy charge for its labels? Yes. But it's cheaper than what you can get from most websites. You get a discount.
Can I join the group, or do I have to be in HAA? We have two separate groups. We have a group for HAA students, and we have a public group for people that are
Link
not
down below.
students, which is linked down below. And you should definitely join that if you haven't already, because even if we can't always get to your questions, there are a crap load of people in there, and someone will always answer your question.
Man, we've got like 6-figure sellers in there that are just hanging out waiting for questions.
There's a lot of people that are probably more successful on Etsy than we are that are available to answer your questions.
Looks like we got 3 more.
Okay, if I put my shop on sale for 20% off and my VIPs have a 30% off coupon, so my VIPs be able to use their evergreen coupon, or will Etsy mess that up?
Etsy will choose the larger discount. Yes. So if they try to use their coupon, they will get the 30% off because it is the larger amount. Mm-hmm. If you want to stack and do a double dip, go back to my videos from back around Black Friday. I have a strategy if you ever want them to be able to stack them, but you have to do that with an external app. Coupons can't be, and discounts cannot be stacked on Etsy, so they'll get the best price. Okay.
Are you saying copying your listings effectively clears the history of that listing compared to renewing, which carries? Yes,
exactly.
That's exactly it. If you just copy all the stuff from it, that metadata we were talking about earlier, every listing has a section of code that's going to be attached to it, right? And if you delete that listing and just create a new one with all the same description and all that stuff, yeah, it's got all of the same like data that you can see, but all of the stuff that you can't see is gone.
All right, Sally's question, and then I've got stuff for you guys. Stuff. I know you guys love free stuff.
I have great reviews, but not a lot of sales. About 100, I think. Would high competition and high searches be better, or low competition, but also low searches?
You're going to have to A/B split test. I would do... Yeah. You've got to test it for your own market. I'm not going to give advice on that and risk accidentally tanking your shop because there's no definitive answer.
No, SEO, it's different for every product and every region and all that. There's too many factors to really say.
SEO is a science experiment, and we are all scientists.
You have to be patient.
You have to be patient. You have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to fail, and you have to be willing to try again. So for those who have made it until the very end, there are some freebies down below. Most of you probably have them, but if you don't and you need help with marketing, my 2020 marketing calendars are down below. Obviously, you're not going to be able to use January through April of those calendars, but the next few months are the ones that you really want to focus on because very soon you guys need to be gearing up for the holidays, especially knowing that you need to get your SEO on point several months before holidays. So make sure that you grab the download down below, as well as my summer survival guide, which will teach you a little bit more about slow summer sales seasons and how to overcome them. For those who are interested in having me personally coach you, or not personally like one-on-one coach you, but if you want to join our Alpha Elites, the Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening on June 14th. This is the first time that it's been open since December. It'll be open for 10 days for enrollment, and once you're in, you are in for life. Handmade Alpha Academy has over 20 hours of pre-recorded content that will take you from A to Z, exact steps that I took to build my Etsy shop to the point of sustainability. It is more than just an Etsy success course, though. At its core foundation, it is a marketing psychology course. I teach you how to incorporate in psychological triggers that are going to help you to actually build your own fanatical following of fans on Etsy. A couple other things that you can expect when you join HAA in June. We are going to be buying every single member who joins a 1-year subscription to eRank, which is huge, guys, because normally this is going to be $120. We pay out of pocket for that. Despite the fact that I work for Anthony, I don't get like a sweet deal on this.
We don't ask for it. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. So that's something that you can expect when you join HAA.
30 days, no questions asked, money back.
Absolutely. And if for any reason you don't like it, all you got to do is email Mark, say, hey, this wasn't for me. He doesn't ask you why. he just refunds your money.
Yep. And any additional content, any updates to content, anything like that,
New bonuses.
they're just updated on the website. You don't have to pay for anything additional. It all stays there. The only time that there might be additional costs is if there's another course.
Exactly.
But that's way far into the future. But anything having to do with the course, free updates for life. 100%.
Absolutely. And once we get closer to time to enrollment, we will be having a Q&A specifically about HAA. But in the meantime, if you're curious about Handmade Alpha Academy and you want to learn a little bit more about it, there is a waiting list link down below. When you sign up for that, you are not obligated to buy Handmade Alpha Academy. However, it will ensure two things. It will ensure that when it opens, you get the notification so that you don't miss it, because it's only a 10-day enrollment window. If we kept it open all the time, we wouldn't be able to help our new batches of students as they come in. We want to make sure that we're helping everyone at the same pace. Though the entire course is work at your own pace. So you could buy it now and start around Christmas time if you wanted to.
Yeah, we don't leave it open all year. It's too much to keep track of.
Exactly. And we can't help you guys as much.
Yes.
It will also, signing up for the email list will also ensure that you get our massive enrollment discount that we only offer to those who are on our list. If you regularly get emails from me, like notifications about the Friday Bean or new videos, you're already on my email list, but this just provides an extra layer of security to make sure that you don't miss that discount, because it is huge. Is everybody good? Looks like everybody's good.
Everybody's good. If you like the video, drop a like.
Thumbs up.
If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs up anyway, because I don't care. If you want to continue seeing our content, make sure you hit the little subscribe button down below the video. If it's still red, if it's grayed out, you've already subscribed.
Bell icon.
Make sure you hit the bell icon. That way you're notified every time we go live or every time we upload a video. And if you have any thoughts on any topics you would like, we'll get to that in a sec. If you have any topics that you would like us to cover, post it in the comments down below. Get on our Facebook group. Let's do that.
I didn't do Bean of the Week, but I can pull their name up really quick in my info.
Uno momento, por favor.
Sarah Polly is once again the Bean of the Week because Sarah has been very active. Sarah's business is Pirate Lotus Boutique. I'm going to pull her up. We pull the most active member of our Handmade Alpha Facebook group, which is linked down below. And that active member of the week is featured as our Friday Bean, and they get a shout out from us. And I forgot this week because I'm a terrible person. Just
signed up for HAA. No, you didn't.
It's not open yet. Did you sign up for the group?
Or the email list?
The email list is different for this idea.
Because the HAA is our actual website.
Yes.
Which is a course that you pay for.
Exactly. But you still get free stuff from me if you sign up for my email list.
Yes. If you pay attention into the group, you'll see our Facebook posts about the course and all that stuff. So
plus, we're going to talk about it on YouTube.
All right, guys. We're going to talk about it in every live stream for the next few weeks.
The email to be notified. Yes, there you go.
Yeah,
gotcha.
There you go. All right.
Awesome, Susan. We'll be sending emails for that very soon. In the meantime, guys, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend and an awesome Mother's Day for all the mamas. Stay safe, hug your babies, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.